Good morning, Brock here from Window Cleaning World. Here we have an Xion Max RO system that we built here at the shop. It's currently in our little testing station here. This is a brand new unit that I've just finished building, just putting it through its paces, making sure it's all good to go to the customer. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to make a video on a quick overview of the unit and how to operate it. So you can see our first hose here is plugged into the RO only outlet, or the bypass outlet. So what that means is you've got water that's gone through the two membrane tubes here, and it's just going straight out. It's not going through the 2-litre DI tank on the front there. And you could use this for initial setup, or if you've got really clean water coming out of the bypass or the RO only, you could use it for something like solar panel or something where you don't need completely purified water, because some instances, you know, that water might come down quite a lot and is good enough for some jobs. If you do want to use RO and DI purified water, then you'd have this tap here turned off, and you've got a dual outlet here, so you could run two poles off this system. That's a 2-litre refillable canister in the front there. So in this configuration, I've currently got these two here blocked off, and got this open, so I'm running it for testing. So we've got the two RO membranes on the front there and those big silver tubes. You can see a bit of wiring there, that's for the outlet TDS meter. And on the back here, that's where all the fun stuff happens. So we've got two SureFlow pumps on the back there, 12 volts. I've got that hooked up to our testing battery. So first off, the water goes through the sediment filter, we can see here on the right hand side. Then we've got a carbon chloramine reduction filter. The water then goes through here and splits off to the two pumps. We've got the other TDS meter, which measures the water going into the RO membranes. These pre-filters won't bring down your TDS levels. It's only for removing sediment, rust, chlorine and other bits and pieces. We've also got two float gauges on the back here. This is our waste, this is our purified, and here is our waste control valve here. Now this will control the amount of waste coming out and the amount of purified water. As you increase the back pressure for the waste, you'll see the waste will come down and more water will start going through the purified side, which our float valve will come up. So I've got it hooked up now to our battery. I'm going to turn that on. I've got water running through the unit. Pretty much all the water's been purged, and we might see a bit more air bubbles coming through here as we reduce the waste flow using this valve. And so I'm going to turn the battery on now. You'll hear the pump start up. They're pretty quiet right now because they're not really loaded up. They're kind of just free spinning there. But as I turn this valve down, you'll hear them start to load up. And what you'll see is this float valve will start going down, this will start going up, and the pumps will start working harder. This has dropped down, this is going to slowly come up as the system pressurizes. So we're making about 2.5 litres per minute of purified water, down to about just over 5 litres a minute of wastewater there. So I'm going to bring that down even more, closing this valve off. Let's bring it down to about 3 litres a minute. So we're just over 3 litres a minute of purified water, and just over 3 litres a minute of waste. So we're at about 50-50 there at the moment. The testing for this at the moment is just running through this hose reel, which is completely wound up, and I've just got a bit of 8mm tube here just to create a bit of back pressure in the system. So this will completely vary with different cases. So everyone has different poles and brushes, lengths of hose, all that kind of stuff. Even the temperature, if it's cold or if it's hot, can make a difference to your flow rates. So this may look a little bit different for you if you're running one of these units. So at the moment we're still just over 3 litres a minute of waste. And yeah, so we're still about 50-50 at the moment. This can produce more purified water, so you can go lower with this here. So about 2 3/4 litres a minute. This will come up to, this is about 4 at the moment. Now, one really important thing is you never want to shut this valve off 100%. You always need a flow of waste coming out from the unit, which the waste is coming out one of these silver hoses here. I won't bring that out just so I don't get wet. But you always need some wastewater coming out. The reason for that is it's keeping the membranes clean. If you don't have wastewater, they will get plugged up and they'll shorten the life of your membrane. So the best way to set this up is get the unit set up, plug in water. If you're running 1 or 2 poles, get your hoses, everything set up. If you're using a hose reel, it's always best to take all the hose off the hose reel, so unwind it completely. That way you won't be creating any back pressure in the hose reel system. So get it set up if you're using RO only or the bypass, or if you're using the DI outlet, get all that set up. And then you want to come back over to the unit with your pole and your brushes, and then you want to start using your waste valve to control the flow coming out of your brushes. You don't want to just set it up, have all your hoses run out, and essentially just crank this to the maximum so it's making the maximum amount of water. That's not really efficient. It's gonna run your battery out quicker. So it's best just to have your brushes close by so you can see the flow coming out of them, and then you can determine how much wastewater you need to be running and how these float valves will be set up. So it's best to do that. There is a certain point where you can keep cranking down the waste and the pure won't come up anymore. That's purely just because of plumbing, the whole system. There's only so much water that you can make with it. So it's always best to make what you need and not max out the unit itself. And basically that's just gonna make everything last longer. So if you're finished with the unit, basically I'll go through a quick shutdown with you. What you need to do is basically open up this valve all the way. So you'll start to see this valve will go up, this one will come down because we're opening up, we're letting all that wastewater go out. And then basically it's just water going through the membranes. We're not making any purified water, it's all going to waste. It's flushing the membranes, which is exactly what you want after a job. And how do you tell if your membranes are flushed? Well, if you've got a handheld TDS meter, you can test the wastewater that's coming out, which if I didn't have this hose on, the wastewater would be coming out this valve here. They always have a little red ring on them. And then if the water coming out of the waste is very close to or the same as the water going into the unit, then you know that your membranes are flush. So with a newer unit, it might only take a minute, might take less than that, might take a few minutes just to flush your membranes. But like I was saying, the more that you keep the wastewater flowing, if you've got a good amount of waste going through the units and you do good flushing after the end of the job, your membranes are going to last a long time. They should last anywhere from 2 to 3 years with sort of normal everyday window cleaning, or if you're using it a few times a week. If you're really heavy using it, you've got 2 guys on it all the time every day, then you're going to go through membranes a little bit quicker. But yeah, definitely to keep them healthy, good flushing and good waste flow. So that's flushing there. Now I can actually turn my battery off. I don't need the pumps on to do that flushing procedure. So I've still just got water running through it. And I'm pretty much done there. It's tested really well. We're not leaking anywhere. So I'm going to turn the water off. There's going to be a little bit of residual pressure in the system, but basically when you're done, you just want to seal the unit. So if you're putting it in your van or your truck and you're laying it down, which you can do, you won't want to have water running everywhere. So You want to make sure this valve is off, that's currently open, so it'll turn 90 degrees and will be off. Those two valves there are closed. And you might just want to use a lead hose, and you can just put a lead hose, click it onto this fitting here and to your waste here, and that will basically seal the unit up, and you won't have water leaking everywhere in your truck or your van. One note is these units do come with heat sinks, so just a clip-on heat sink onto the pumps here. I don't have them on for testing, but they do come with the unit. You'll see that on the website and if you purchase one of these units. So that is a very quick run through testing and operating an Excion Max. If you have any questions, you can always call us at the shop. You can leave a video, leave a comment on this video. We don't always get notified when we get a comment on YouTube, but we do try and check it. But for quick contact, it's always best to call or email us at the shop. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.